Good morning, everybody. So there is just a litany to go over, just a ton to go over. I'll let everybody funnel in here, and then we can kind of get going. But let's just start with a couple key things here. And I'm really very surprised at the action in this Visor News. I've not read the story yet, but this looks pretty damaging in the move. Obviously, someone's reading the story. Institutions get ahead of this stuff pretty quickly, and it looks like they have. It looks like they have absolutely gotten ahead of it. So let's see what happens with it. But to me, I do think that you can see this continue for some time. This is not great news for these companies. So just going to let everybody funnel in here a little bit, and then we'll go from there. But this is obviously huge news. Good morning, Cameron. Hey, John, good morning. So let's just go through a couple things. Let's just start here. So Merck obviously has some kind of oral drug out that is crushing these companies. And we're just going to have to really see how that plays out. Let me click off of this, and let me do recently viewed. So, I'll try and keep this going today a little faster, but there's a lot to unpack here. And there's a lot to unpack with what's going on in the market right now. So I'm just going to jump right into it here. Like any pullback on this, I have to read the data, but the way that this is set up and what's happening to me means people are all over this data, and they've already read it, right? And they've already made their decision. And I have to get up to speed as well. But this is a very different move than what we saw happen with Merck, where Merck's new drug came out. This is basically moving in such a way where they're basically going to come out and say, like, hey, maybe we don't need the vaccines as much. That's the move that you're getting here. You didn't really get that move with Merck. So with that said, any pullback, like if I can get back down to 46 today, you might want to look at this, if that can happen. If you're fortunate enough and this pulls back to 46, you might want to take a look at it. Everyone knows, that I have a short position in this, but I feel I should throw it out there anyway. If you break this level, it's over. Like if you close below here, you have a massive problem. And if you start closing below here, you're going to start looking at these levels like, 227. Right? You're going to start looking at 220, and you're just going to start going through them like butter, where everyone's just going to try to recoup anything they can and blow them out. BNTX is the same exact way. BNTX will most likely go to this level. So I think that these stocks are, even though they're down, I still think they're shorts that you can add to it. Look, you can see how NVAX has a death cross right here. So any rally up on these at all, and to me, they're short positions. And I'd be looking at buying Visor if I can get around 45, 46. Hopefully I can do that. That's what I really wanted to, I want to focus on. And now we can go through everything that everybody else wants to kind of talk about. But I think it's really important to not rule out what this does. Also, think about what this is going to do for travel. Okay. If it's factual, but think about what it's going to do for travel. Okay. Expedia is bidding up already. Okay, but that was because of earnings, right? We had a great earnings report, but also think about this. All these companies are going to benefit from this if it's actual, because a lot of people are not traveling because of the vaccine or because they don't feel that there's the right treatment out there that's stopping this. So that's something to consider. And I think it's something that we should consider to start looking at. This whole group could go up on this. This had a nice move and a nice rally from last night. If you look at this after hours, so you can see that there's your 15-minute rule, right? Breaks above it, and then it just kept going. So something to consider. But anyway, my point being is there's a lot that's going to move on this. I know that people think this 10% move down on Moderna and BNTX is a big move, and NVAX. This is nothing compared to how ugly this can get. So just keep that in mind. This can get a lot uglier, like a lot. So I've seen this before. I've seen this for years, this kind of pattern. So let's go. Let's just start. Hey, Bob, good morning. Now that I've rambled. Good morning, AT. Can you cover crowd? I sure can, Ro. So, I don't know if they're getting their clock cleaned and people are aware of it, but I don't really understand why it's not participating much. I actually took a position here and then it failed to close above that level. So I closed it. And obviously, I'm happy that I did that. Everyone knows I'm like the first out if something's not working. But I would expect more participation today with Net and DDog, right? But we're just not seeing that. So that means that there's something that I don't know, right? That's kind of where my head goes. Maybe there's something I don't know. Now, if we just zoom in on it technically, okay, you broke here, but this bar, right? We all know that when you have a long red nasty bar, it's in charge, right? We all know that that's in charge until it's broken. And look at what you're doing. So I wouldn't even think of going near this to your over 283.12. I think there's some other software names look so much better. Hi, John. That's good. That's great news. We still have massive issues that we have to deal with on the job front. Melly, Airbnb. Hey, Zane. So Melly had great earnings. Okay. And to me, it could break out here and get above that level. And I would just watch this very, very closely. This is where you're at. This is where you closed. You get above this 200-day and stay above this 50-day is going to become like a magnet. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to happen in a day, but it's certainly going to happen. And that's something that you're going to want to just simply stay in and just let it play itself out, right? That's how I look at it. I would just stay in it and let it play itself out and go from there. Now, other than that, I think that you're good. I don't see a real reason to chase it, but I do think that you could see something like that continue. Airbnb, again, I touched base on. I like it. I like it a lot. This is the break you've been waiting for. It happened after earnings. The RSI is pulling up over 70. This might be risk on today. Okay. I also like the behind on the backs of this visor news, and I have to dig more into it, but I really like that. I think that space travel could do exceptionally well. So stay there. Hey, Rob, good morning. Hey, Westy. Brooke, yeah, NVIDIA. I mean, we have it. Look, if you're in the trading room or you get the free newsletter, whatever, everybody knows my position with NVIDIA. We've been all over it. And with earnings, it was probably the single greatest earnings. I think it's the single greatest earnings gain we've had, our single greatest option gain we've had since we started the trading group, was it. And it just did exceptionally well. We were very fortunate to be in the right spot at the right time. And that's what happens. Preparation meets opportunity, right? I'm at 310. I hit it yesterday. I didn't move the price target up. I'm going to leave it where it is. And we'll see what happens with it. But I like it. I like it a lot. I don't think it's over. I think you could bounce around. I think money can rotate in the software a little bit based upon earnings, but I don't think this is going to go away. I think we're going to rotate every 3-4 days and just keep driving things up. That's what I think happens. So, but I like NVIDIA a lot. I have a large position in NVIDIA, as people are aware. Hey, Zorro. So, yeah, Amazon, look, large caps are coming up. Okay, we're seeing it. This was the break. This is what we've been waiting for. But you're not above and closing above this wick. So there's a couple of people in the trading group that were actually, they're long calls. I was not long calls on this. I have no position in this right now. And they're doing exceptionally well. They bought this, they bought this little break right here, right? You see that little inversion here? If you looked at that candlestick video we did, you know that this is a what? A morning star. You break the morning star, bonk, bonk, here you go. And then after that morning star, you push higher. That's a clear sign. But I didn't want to buy it because I was near these trend lines. Well, it could care less about those trend lines. It ran right through them. Okay. Get above this level, close above that level, and you'll see a whole other wave of buying come in. We can put the bells and whistles in. You can take a better look at it. But I'd be looking at 34.80 or above that. That's where I would be. I think it did exceptionally well, and congratulations to those that were in it. So much to go over. Let's just go. Good morning, Isaiah. Cameron, no, I didn't do Tesla or Yeti. Let's do Tesla and Yeti. So again, everybody knows this now that's in here. We have a large position in this from the newsletter. Look, I'm not crazy about yesterday's bar. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. I was very, very disappointed in the performance. We had options and stock. The stock, I don't think we even did another new position yesterday. I have to look, but traded so much yesterday. I don't like that. That doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. I'm hoping it's an anomaly like this, right? Where you think it's going to break and give you a shooting star down. That's what my hope is. I'm not so sure that I'm right. Okay. So I really have to see how that plays out here. So in regards to this, what you're going to see is if I break that low, you got to get out of the way because that's a perfect evening star, right? And if I break that low, you got to get out of the way if you're a short-term thinker, because realistically, you'd come to here. That's not going to cause me to sell the stock, but just be aware of that. If you're a short-term trader and you're trading options, you break this and you could see it come in. Okay. I think the market's too strong for it to do any real damage, but it is possible. That is a top position. So we would like that to reverse. I would like that to reverse. Yeti. So this is beautiful. Okay. This is doing everything right. See how you're above that line right there, 105.67. I like this a lot. I like this cup. Maybe you form a handle and then go. But once you're above this 70, it's risk on for me. I love this trade. That's like one of my signals when I can get above this line, it usually runs. And that's what you're seeing here, right? I want to be in things that are moving. I want my money to constantly be making money. If it's not, I'm in the wrong ideas. That's how I trade. Everyone trades differently, but I like Yeti a lot. Out of those three you just gave me, Yeti's the best. Yeah, please do me a favor. I think there's 65 people watching right now. If you could please like this, I'm trying to get in front of as many people as possible. I don't run ads on here specifically in the middle of it, and the algorithm likes that, and that's how it puts you in front of more people. And I just don't want to do it, but I just want to keep it just content. Amazon and Tesla on parabolic moves. How do you know when to get out? Well, first off, let's just go through your statement because that's an important statement. Okay. Amazon and Tesla on parabolic moves. Okay. So let's just define that. Okay. That is not a parabolic move. Okay. That is nowhere near a parabolic move. A parabolic move is something that exceeds expectations. Okay. Average daily trading ranges, 2-3 times average daily trading ranges. Okay. That basically gets you to a second standard deviation, right? So, and the probability of a second standard deviation, I think it's like, 95% chance it's not going to happen. But that's not really a parabolic move, okay? A parabolic move would be something like Tesla, right? So when you have a parabolic move, the very first thing that I do in the way that I trade is I'm top down. So I look at everything and I want to know exactly what the index is doing, what the sector's doing, what are the competitors doing, right? And then, am I in a breakout market or am I a trading market? Am I in a choppy environment or am I not in a choppy environment? Am I in a bear market? Right? I want to know that. Now, if I'm in a runaway breakout market, i.e., what you're in right now, right? We're breaking out of the indexes. What I like to see is I move my stops up, and that's what I've been doing this whole time on it, right? People know this that have been with me on these trades. Know that what we've done in this position is just simply move the stop up. And then we had to leave it there even and risk 100 points, but it paid off. And now we move the stop up again, right? Eventually we'll get stopped out and it may go higher. It might not, but eventually we'll get stopped out, right? It's just a question of when, not if, and you just have to accept it. But I would be moving my stop up. Okay, I'd be really cautious adding to something that was winning when I'm on a trade like this because there's no base, but you can trade it. Our last ad was 901, but and that was off of, I believe it was off that break, right? Yeah, right off that break. So, and you can see how we've done since then. But you on parabolic moves, you just, and if you're in a breakaway market, you just move the stop up. So this is getting worse for these names. Just FYI, we're starting to break the 200 on them. So this may get a lot worse. So just FYI, this may not be over. Okay, something to consider. So, there might still be short and put positions that make sense there. I hope that makes sense, Nuyo. Affirm new closing high, but back down off P-ton. Yeah, look, here's the thing. Here's what you have to realize about Affirm, okay? How many people does Affirm have as a client? What percentage of their revenue comes from Peloton? Let's clean up these 1,000 support and resistance lines I have on here. And let's just focus on this for a moment. Okay. What do we really need to do here? We need to put ourselves in a position where this works. And I don't see this as something that I would be buying right now, because I don't like maybe I would have played this, right? Like I get this play, right? I come down, I revert, I hold the 21 day, and then I buy it right here. I get that trade. That trade makes sense. I don't finish. I come out. I can't get above this bar, right? Remember what I said about 10 minutes ago? Long red nasty bars are in charge until they're what? And until they're negated. How do you negate a long red nasty bar? You close above it. Did we close above it? No. It's not negated. So would I be buying this? No. But I think the Peloton news is nonsense. I think it's a reason to sell, right? It's not what the news is. It's what the stock does with the news. That's what you have to look at. Okay. It's always telling you a story. Just have to pay attention to it. So, but I hope that's helpful. DM, I put a trade on DM yesterday and I really liked it. And then this really disappointed me and I blew it out. I took a small loss. Starter position. I was hoping to build a position. I don't like these bars. I don't like, it's almost like a shooting star, right? It's almost a perfect evening star down to here. This could work and this could take some time, but I did not like yesterday's action at all. That was really nasty action and not something that I want to stay in when I see. I want to get out. So, I'm staying in the video. Hey, Janice, I sent you, you messaged me on Twitter. I did message you back. I am absolutely staying in the trade. I think the trade could be a massive winner. I'll just keep moving my stop up. If you're in cheaper and you want to take the trade, take the trade. Just take it, lock it in. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not how I trade in a market environment like this. But I think it looks excellent. I mean, I don't know what somebody's looking at that is like, I need to get out of this. Why? Because you're making too much money? Do you know what I mean? Like, why do you have to get out of that? Because it might go up more? I mean, how many times do stocks break out like this and then come all the way back down? Less than 5%? Maybe it happens. Maybe you lose 30 points. To me, it's worth the risk. Because what if it goes to 400? And don't say that it can't, because we all know that this can happen, right? So, if you want to be in there, then you have to be in there. I mean, there's no other way for me to say. There's no other way to say it. And you look at this volume, and I'm just trying to point this out. Like, what did we trade? 100 million shares? You didn't trade 100 million shares during the pandemic. Okay, people want to own this. They're getting it, right? I said this earlier in the year. I expected NVIDIA to be the Tesla of this year. It looks like Tesla is going to be the Tesla this year, and NVIDIA is still going to rock and roll. So I hope that's clear, Janice. Yeah, I'm in APP, and it's in the newsletter. Here's my thought on it. I don't like this. I don't like wicks. I just don't. It's all met by selling. But do you notice how we're having these wicks, but we're not selling down? There's no massive sell-off. So if I keep rejecting and there's no massive sell-off and I'm just sitting there, well, somebody's buying. So I'm going to let it play itself out. And this is not something that I'm overly concerned about right here, right? This volume line. I mean, we're just declined volume during the selling, during the buying. Look at the buying, look at the selling. So I'm just letting it play itself out. Morning, Utu. GoPro, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. So, yep, you went right to what? The 200-day and rejected. There's your level. So this is getting worse and worse for these names as we're talking. Just FYI. This one's down another 10. So looks like the more people that are reading these stories, the more people are starting to understand how bad this is going to be for them. I haven't had time to read that Merck report, or I'm sorry, the Visor report yet, but this is clearly showing there's an issue. But GoPro, you're looking at that line right here. So, I mean, when I say it could get worse for these kinds of names, I mean like cut in half worse. Okay, so if we don't need your product anymore, you have nothing. You're a one-trick pony. And I'm not saying that we don't need it, but I'm saying that if it starts coming in, this was a huge growth, right? Everybody was going to need 3 shots. If that doesn't happen, and I'm not trying to harp on one company, but if that doesn't happen, no matter what the product is, whether you sell vaccines or widgets, if we don't need it, you're going to come in. And when you have high multiples and that much growth, you see issues. I like this though, this GoPro, but you have to get over that level. GXO. So you're breaking out, and now you have this little reversal that happened yesterday. I'd watch this bar. I don't like when I have a bar like that and I have a reversal. I'd watch this and make sure that it continues, because you're over the base now, right? Here was your buy, or should have been your buy. Then you're up 10% from there. Now you have to see. You have to watch and wait. That's all. You have to watch and wait and see what it does. I wouldn't be chasing it here. Path, FDS. Let's do Path to start there. So I know a lot of people were looking at this yesterday, and look, this did what you needed it to do yesterday. You needed it to get above 55.40. That's where you could put the trade on, right? Gets above, and now it goes. That's the move. Now, do I want to own this going into earnings? Probably not, because every earnings has been a disaster, right? So I probably don't want to own it going into earnings, but the way this pattern's shaping up leads me to believe, like, let's get rid of all these horizontal lines, all of them. All right, remove all adhesions. And let me just show you this really quickly. So here's the low of this. Okay. There's the low of that red bar. That's where you got rejected before, right? See, you have to, once you understand how to do this, it starts making sense, right? And now that's where you could probably get to, right? That's where I would watch and see if you can get to. And if you get to that level, then maybe just, see how it acts there. FBS, yeah, this acts excellent. Again, here's your red bar that's in charge. Just get above this level right here. Get above 444. Yeah, I mean, let's just call it 445. Get above that, and it probably can go. NIO, I'm looking for this 44 level. If we get above that, it probably runs. If I get follow through on this trade after this into earnings, it probably goes. It probably has a nice move. That's what I think could happen there. So that's what I'm looking for. Let's just go LABU, FDX. So let's go LABU. LABU. And for those that are sharing the video, thank you. I do appreciate it. I can see it shows you like numbers. So since I've been asking for people to share it or comment, it does show that. So I do appreciate that. Look, I'm not into this at all. Like I keep trying to get into this trade and I'm just not. We're just not there, right? I mean, this is what you're looking for, right? We're rejecting here on the RSI. You're rejecting here. I just don't see it. And I'm trying to find a way into some of these names because I think they're going to work. They're just not working now. I was looking at BNGO. I know it's a small genomics company, but I was looking at this break off of here. Earnings come out. We've touched back down and we're bouncing. I think some of these names could work, and I think LABU can work. I just don't think we're ready yet, Rob. I just don't feel like we're there yet. maybe when it gets through the 50-day. This is exactly what you're looking for. So let's clean all this out and get rid of all these annotations. So you can see right here, right, that break. Okay, 241. That was your trade. Okay, now that's your stop. So if you close below that level, you need to be out of the trade. That's how I would play it if I was in this. And now that you're above this, you should be working your way up. So let's click off that and see if that's a gap. And that is a gap, right? You see that level I just gave you? See how it just fits right here? So it's important on earnings days to know where your pre and post data is, right? We can all see why that would be important. So let's just leave that level in, right? Because if you don't use pre and post, you wouldn't even know that level's there. So the most that I think that you're going to do at first is what we call the old gap fill. So I think that's where you're going. Then you're going to have to see how it acts. The fact that you're above the 50-day makes a lot of sense, okay? Christmas is coming, holiday season, right? Packages. This is their time to shine. And people are buying this at a discount. So institutions that understand this, they're buying it. There's no question about it. Okay, so AMD calls, you're late, Bob. I think you're way late. There's your move, right? You had a huge move yesterday. You broke out. You're kind of coming down today. You know, if you're trying to play, it depends how you're trying to do it, Bob. Are you trying to do it for the day, or are you trying to do it for a month out? Just let me know. But I would really watch this. I mean, you know, could it go again today? Absolutely, they could go again today. So it's getting a little more coffee. Bear with me. All right. So AMD calls. Yeah, thanks, Jen. I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm so behind already. I've been just rambling so much. Bob, just let me know what you're looking at, and I can be more specific for you. Oil. I mean, look, Laura, the only oil name that I'm really in right now in the newsletter is this, EOG. Okay? That's it. Other than that, do I think oil can go higher? Absolutely. I do. I'm in IWM 1150 since it broke at the high earlier this week. You talk about how you might manage that trade. Yeah, Jordo, I need to know what calls you're in. Are you in the money? You out of the money? You know, I need to know that. I would need to know specifically. If you want me to talk about how I would manage it, I need more data. You're 3 weeks out, so you're depreciating in time, right? So that's something to consider. But what does that really mean? To me, I think that this could be an enormous winner for you, like enormous. You know, I've been talking about the IWM finally outperforming the Qs and everything. Maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe, you know, but, you know, we've been trading in and out of TNA for a while now, which is the 3X ETF, right? But to answer your question, I would need to know what you're in. If I was in options like that, how I would manage it, you have to manage it. Let's assume you're in at the money options, because I don't know which ones you have. Okay, you just need to trade. Like I would literally manage it by, as soon as I took out a lower low, I'd be gone as my stop. If I was, you know, 14 days out on an option, because every single day you're losing money with time decay, right? Unless you're in the money and the IV on those is very low. But I doubt your IV is very low right now, right? I'd have to pull them up and take a look at them. So, okay, let's keep going. And for those, wow, let's just keep going. Team BNGO. I like BNGO. I'm going to just start there. I like this name. I like what I saw yesterday. I like this little pop over. I'm hoping it lasts. It doesn't look like it's going to. I do like how you touched the 21 and the 50 and you bounced. I do like that. Team, that's my level that I'm looking at. Let's clean this up. Okay, that's my level. Until I'm up to that level, I have no interest in the trade. Okay, here's my trend line. Okay, I rejected my trend line. I didn't flip it. I formed a doji. and I'm holding it. Like, let's get into this because this is fascinating. Well, it is to me, but, but 441.17, right? See how you're not breaking that, right? That's what wicks are. What wicks are price rejection, right? We all know that. No, don't play with your settings. Just RSI is RSI. Okay. I mean, the thing about RSI that you must realize is that RSI RSI determines the magnitude of a move. Okay. So why would you play with the settings? And I know people do, but no, settings are the settings. I see no reason to play with them. Good morning. Let's do it. I agree. It's going to be a great trading day. LUMN. Man, I am behind. Okay. Thought I was moving faster. LUMN. So Lumen Technologies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to buy something that's up like this. I mean, you're up on earnings, right? After the earnings, you have this huge volume. I mean, it's a good move, but look where my resistance is. Like, do I really want to be buying into that resistance? Probably not. I probably want to wait and see how it acts at these levels, right? And if it can get through them, then maybe I'd pay attention. But if I can't get through these levels, I really don't have an interest. Morning. All right, let's start. So lithium, CCJ. I don't think I'll be able to get through all those because I'm running out of time here. But this one, how did I not spell that right? Let's throw this over here. LTHM. LTHM. Is that what you're asking for? LTHM. Okay, I don't know this company. What is this? A uranium company? So you broke out here, right? Like here, look. You can see your breakout level. All right, and then you went. The trade's on, right? This is going to be your stop. If you're willing to take that kind of risk, you can put the trade on. Other than that, it's not something I would go near. CCJ, the level I gave last time for those that were trying to trade it, is that level that you're looking at right there. So that's the level that I would focus on. Let me get that off. Click on that. But that's the level I would focus on, 27.89, RKLB. I looked at this one yesterday. I like the action that I saw yesterday, and this can go. You're getting through all these levels pretty cleanly, and this looks like it's about ready to break into the 70s. So this could run. And I believe you have earnings coming up soon. I don't know what space they're in, but get above 16.25. And I would look at this. That's definitely something to look at. Absolutely. TTD. So yeah, I wouldn't go near this. Just look at that. You're just basing. It's sad because we traded this and had so much potential down here off that break, and it just never really developed properly. I like the SPY calls. I don't know which ones you have. I need to know which ones you have in order to speak more intelligently about it. But I don't see it stopping till 474, 475. Well, I mean, here's the thing: you're playing an independent name, right? So you got to realize there's going to be rotation in the SOX itself. Okay. So the SOX is going to rotate. We're going to go from artificial intelligence chips to foundries to, the next great semiconductor equipment maker, right? We're going to rotate through that space. Okay. It's just going to happen. So if you want to own this because you own it, then own it. I mean, the thing about the SOX and buying this is just you have no earnings risk, and it tends to move like the top high beta semiconductor names when they get going. So I like it. I've been waiting. I've been trying this breakout. I must have tried this breakout 3 or 4 times, and it's finally doing it. But this line, this is pretty substantial. And I think all semiconductors are going to have to participate on it. And I do think I'm going to wind up raising the target on it too, frankly. But, it's whether or not you want individual risk, which could lead to a larger return, or if you just want to own the index. Yep, Jen, thank you. BGVF and Viacom. Well, this one's going to be easy. Viacom, you just can't go near, right? I mean, obviously, nobody wants to buy them. Nothing happened with it. Obviously, this was just a squeeze, right? BGVF. It looks like a lot of people had fun with it yesterday. What am I doing here? BGFV. Thank you. But it looks like a lot of people on social media or in some of these like pump and dump rooms had fun with it. It ran up. It's dead. It's same story, same super reheated. Bunch of people hype it up and then they sell into it and talk about all the money they made, and then it comes crashing down. I mean, it's the same thing. It's over and over and over again. I don't know how people don't say it, but they don't. Look, you pulled right back down to that 29 and a quarter room, right here, and then you ran all the way up. I mean, I wouldn't go near this. I mean, we can see how many times this game's been played, right? So this is not something I would trade now. Yesterday, the day before on the earnings, that was your move, buying it here, right? Trading it up and getting the squeeze. That was just gravy. But to me, the trade's busted. I wouldn't go near it. You I like. You're coming out with earnings next week, and everybody's looking for the next software company that's going to beat. That's how I look at it, right? I think everybody's looking for that next software company that they're going to beat. And I think that that's really important to understand. So let's see how that goes. But I do like that name. And let me just keep going. Morning, Oven. Spot. All right. Spot. So you went right to the 301 level. That was our target. Okay. That was our target level. And we ran right to it and we rejected. So do I think it's over? Probably not. I think that it could come back down, build, and go from there. I mean, technically, you could argue this is a huge right? Cup, and then it goes, right? So I like it, but yeah, I mean, it looks like it needs a rest. I mean, it rejected right here at 301. So not something that I'd be rushing into right now. I do think it has more juice, right? I mean, I laugh about it all the time. I guess everybody wants to be like the Beebs, but look, I mean, this was our breakout on it. I think we had this in the top 10, right? So I think when you look at something like that, 163.20, and you see how it breaks out, that was what we were looking for. It did what we wanted it to do, and now it's just going to keep going. Now, does it keep doing that? I don't know. Okay, to me, that's your upper channel. So to me, we haven't broken yet, right? To me, we're at a resistance point. So we have to see if it breaks. Maybe it breaks. Maybe it doesn't. We just don't know. Hi, Mariana. Hive. HIV. Hive blockchain. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like these smaller names, as people are aware. Here's what I do like about this. This is huge. Look at that volume. And usually when you see something like this, one of the best things you can do is look at relative volume to see if it's really, how real it is. That's pretty substantial. We're trading 4x over and over again. People have an interest. Okay, people have an interest in it. These smaller names, and this might be one that works. This is certainly shaping up as if it's going to be one that works. I can put that 200 in right there. Right? I mean, that's certainly one that, I like when these start getting wider and wider. You need to pay attention to that. So this could work, Mariana, but it's a shorter name. But you can see your issue, right? You see where your issue is? 450. See how you can't close over there? See, you tried twice and failed. So let's see how we do closing over there. And maybe if we close over there, maybe it's something then for us to take a look at, right? RCL. I mean, look, I got to get through this visor news, but I'm going to tell you right now, like, it seems to me like whoever's reading this visor report and all the institutions that are out reading it feel like it's risk on with travel again. I mean, you're seeing it everywhere. So I have to really dig into the report. But if this turns into, oh, they don't have to worry about vaccines anymore, and we're going to take a pill and that's going to be the end of this, I don't know. I have to read the report. But if that's what it's going through, well, that's a completely game changer for getting, back to normal. Right. This people talking of like a quote, new normal, that's never going to fly. It just isn't. So, you've been waiting for something to come out to fix this, and maybe this is it. I really don't know. But if that's the case, yeah, stocks like RCL, CCL, I mean, these things are going to just rocket, right? That whole space, you could look at NCLH, right? I mean, that whole space should just run. And it's definitely something to think about that way, that it can do that. It absolutely can do that. And I'd also be looking at the airlines. People are going to travel. They're sick of the mask, the whole thing, right? So maybe if this fixes that issue, and I don't know that it does. I'm not a scientist. I got to jump to the front because I'm running out of time here. Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it. Thank you. That's why I do it. I'm trying to educate people on what it takes to truly be successful. So I appreciate the comment. A firm I did, I'll hit you real quick with it. And if you want to throw it out there, okay. Yeah, just trade it up. When you hit a lower low, I'd be out of it. So I'm going to just talk fast here for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to have to go. AEHR. Look, I'm in this. I like it a lot. I think you could break out, and I think you could continue to run. I don't see any reason to do anything with it. AMEH has an enormous short position in it. Okay. Let's get rid of the indicators and let's just focus on a couple things. This is your major support. Okay. I've left this in here and I haven't looked at the stock in months. And look how you're respecting it. Okay. You have to get above this bar. Okay. This is pretty much dead. We actually remove all the segment lines. And you really want to see how you're going to act when you get to this 87.46, and then you have 99. But see how they act. Yeah, it could be, John. It could be that the reopening, and again, I have not gone through this visor report, and I have to. Because it could be a game changer in a lot of ways. Everyone knows my position on like on Moderna, but I think it could be a game changer. I need to understand it more. I don't know that you have to worry about that. Let's do AI and BTBT, and then I'm going to have to wrap this up, everyone. Look, okay, every earnings quarter, we expect it to get better, and it doesn't. So I just wouldn't go near this until I can figure out what it's going to be. BTBT, okay, this is just dead. It's Wick City. So it's not something I'd go near. Playboy, I don't know, if you got stopped out, you want to get back in. I don't know how you got stopped out, right? I mean, to me, the stop out is closing below 30. So I don't think you gave it enough room. I mean, that's the first thing I'd say, Shane. Maybe you overpaid. I don't know. I don't know where you bought it, but this was my level where I would look at it. And then we traded up a little bit and I said, I'd buy it again. I think at 31, I have to go through the notes. Yeah, this reversal was awful. Nobody wants to see that. If you break that low, you're going to get out of the way. But right now, you basically have a bearish engulfing here. So you need to get above this 33 before you put the trade back on, right? And it could take a couple days to do it, but I think it's going to do it. You're welcome, buddy. Just watch all those wicks. You got to watch all those wicks. So, all right, I got to jump, everybody. As always, just reach out if you need me. Have a great day.